Hey you guys, I'm going to be making another tutorial section for you for this week for your No Red Ink on understanding complex sentences. If you look in No Red Ink, you're going to see that you have 8 topics that are due in 4 days. So to me, that sounds like I should get 2 topics done today, 2 tomorrow, 2 on Thursday, and then 2 on Friday for a total of 8 topics. If you can work a little bit quicker than that, maybe you get 3 done today, and then maybe you work at your own pace to get the rest of them done throughout the week. That's fine. But however you work it out, you want to make sure that you have all 8 done by September 10th. So by the end of the day, September 10th, like 3 o'clock into the school day, you're going to want all of them done. When you click on this assignment, you're going to see that it says understanding complex sentences. And the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is to identify subordinating conjunctions or SWABIs. If you remember last week, we did coordinating conjunctions where we had what were called simple and compound sentences. This week, we're going to start talking about complex sentences. And when we have a complex sentence, we don't have a coordinating conjunction. We can have a coordinating conjunction, but we don't have to. But in order for that sentence to be complex, we have to have a subordinating conjunction. And in order to have those subordinating conjunctions, we have to know what they are. So we're going to hit the lesson, and it's going to walk us through identifying subordinating conjunctions or SWABIs. You're going to look down here and it's going to show you common subordinating conjunctions. These are not the only subordinating conjunctions. These are just going to be the main ones we focus on in No Red Ink. We're going to focus on words like since, when, after, because, if. So last week we were focusing on fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those were the words we were focused on. This week we're going to be focused on since, when, after, because, if. Subordinating conjunctions can join 2 complete thoughts into one sentence. So when you look right here, it says, my uncle will buy me a bike if I get good grades. My uncle will buy me a bike is a complete thought, and I get good grades is also a complete thought. But we're going to make this a complex sentence by adding the word if in here. My uncle will buy me a bike if I get good grades. So we're essentially looking for these words, these SWABIs within these sentences for this first section. So we're going to hit practice, and we're just going to read the sentence, and we're going to try to figure out where do we see the word since, when, after, because, or if. That's all we're doing. David Schwimmer's soccer team will be overjoyed if they win the championship. Well, I see that word if. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go to the next one. Because Timmy Turner is good at cutting hair, I asked him to give me a trim. Remember, we're looking for words since, when, after, because, if. So I'm going to click on because and hit submit. And then I'm going to go to the next. After he went to rehearsal, Gimli and I went out for ice cream. So I'm going to be looking for since, when, after, because, if, and I see it right here, and I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to do this for every single question. I'm going to see the word since, when, after, because, if. But what happens if I don't see the word since, when, after, because, if? Like this question. This one says, while she was getting dressed in the morning, Hannah Marin realized she had no clean clothes to wear. We're looking for the word in this sentence that is acting as a subordinating conjunction, the word that's making this sentence feel like it is dependent upon something else. Hannah Marin realized she had no clean clothes to wear. That's a complete thought. She was getting dressed in the morning. That's also a complete thought. I could say Hannah Marin realized she had no clean clothes to wear while she was getting dressed in the morning. Or I could say while she was getting dressed in the morning, Hannah Marin realized she had no clean clothes to wear. So that's going to kind of signify to me because I can flip-flop that sentence, and the main parts of this sentence right here, this section, and this section right here are both complete thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and safely guess that this word, even though it's not since, when, after, because, or if, this probably is my subordinating conjunction. I'm going to click on it, and I'm correct. Lucas Douglas is tired because he stayed up last night playing video games. Well, I know that because is one of those words, so I'm going to select it and I'm going to keep going. If I get to a question that doesn't have an option of since, when, after, because, if one of those words isn't in the sentence, then you need to ask yourself which word is acting in place of a SWABI, and you need to try to identify that word. So here I know since is one of those words, so I'm going to select it. Ted Mosby will go to class after the bell rings. I'm going to select after. Timon should buy a winter coat since it's starting to get cold. I'm going to see the word since. So you're going to see you're not going to have those moments where you don't have a SWABI that we've listed already. So since, when, after, because, if. But occasionally you might. Just like this question right here. Autumn Rivers looked through her Instagram feed while she was sitting in the dentist's waiting room. Which word is acting as the subordinating conjunction? Autumn Rivers looked through her Instagram feed. That's a complete thought. She was sitting in the dentist's waiting room. That's also a complete thought. I could say, while she was sitting in the dentist's waiting room, Autumn Rivers looked through her Instagram feed, and that sentence still makes sense. So that kind of stands out to me that this word while might be my subordinating conjunction. You're going to notice these are a little bit more tricky than fanboys because there are more SWABIs than we have listed. They're all over. We have so many subordinating conjunctions. Sometimes you might hear me refer to them as SWABIs words because that's a different acronym for a different set of subordinating conjunctions because there are just so many. But I want you guys to mainly focus on these for right now. And if you don't see since, when, after, because, or if in a sentence, you need to ask yourself what word in this sentence is acting like that subordinating conjunction. So do your best with this. If it's giving you problems, make sure you see me.